Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome you all to our fourth Zoom DNG meetings, live presentations from different participants across the globe. As usual, as a culture in Dynapharm, before we start anything, we hand and put everything in the hands of the Almighty. I would request if we have a volunteer to lead us in a word of prayer before we can kick off. If we have a volunteer to lead us in a word of prayer, unmute your microphone and please go ahead. Hello? Hello?
Hello, let us pray.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Father Almighty God, we come before you this morning. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the gift of the business that we have, that is Dynapharm. Father, as we've gathered here today, may you open our hearts and our brains as we share freely with each other. Give us wisdom, Father, that comes from you as we try to learn from one another, oh Lord. Bless this business, bless the leaders, and bless everyone that is part of this presentation. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen and amen and amen. I want to once again welcome you to this fourth DNG live presentations on this 26th day of October 2021. I'm Karugaba Colin Utaro. I'll be your moderator for this Zoom session. We shall have three main presenters: CDM Florencia Mondlane from Maputo, Mozambique. Then we shall have Obini, health consultant, all the way from Kampala, Uganda. And we shall wrap it up with the third presenter, who will be CDM Richie Munene from Nairobi, Kenya. Without wasting time, let's have CDM Florencia all the way from Maputo, Mozambique. Florencia, are you online? As Florencia prepares to come online, we have some basic rules I would expect all of us to follow. If you're not a presenter, please mute your microphone. And if you're a presenter, before you can go ahead, you unmute and make sure your video is also enabled. Thank you very much. CDM Florencia, are you online?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, CDM Florencia. That is Florencia Mondlane, all the way from Maputo, Mozambique. I will hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I would like to let you all know that my presentation will be in two languages. Portuguese for my fellow colleagues here. Some of them do not speak English. So
yes,
I will use...
Before you go ahead, we are getting feedback. I don't know if you have any other Zoom sound so that we don't get feedback.
Okay, let me, because of communications here, what I did, I enter in two places. Let me switch off another one.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Oh. I think now it's okay. Are you still having the feedback?
Yeah, we are still getting the feedback. I think just remove the volume of the other device. just remove the volume of the second device you're not using for communicating. That is CDM Florencia Mondlane, all the way from Maputo, Mozambique. We have kind of lost her, but let's give her a few seconds and see if she'll come back online. Florencia, are you getting us? We need to have you back online so that we can proceed. I think the issue wasn't with the network as per se, but she had signed in using 2 different accounts and we're getting some interrupting feedback. As we try to wait for Florencia to get online, I will request health consultant Obini to be on standby just in case we can't get Florencia back as soon as possible. Do we have Mark Obini, health consultant, online?
Yes, Mr. Seki, I'm online. I don't know if everyone is getting.
Okay, B, hold it right there. Be on standby. I'll give Florencia a few seconds, and if she cannot come through, then we shall go right ahead with you.
Yes. I'm back.
CDM, are you back online?
Yes.
Okay, please enable your video and go right ahead.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm very sorry for the issue. As I was saying, my presentation will be in both Portuguese and English because Mozambique is a Portuguese-speaking country, so other people must not miss this presentation.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
My name is CDM. I joined Dynapharm in 2011. So I joined Dynapharm business at the beginning. I joined it because I was sick. We have one solve all my issues. Then I turned on to business to do it full time. And I'm grateful for my upline, the person who introduced me. All this is what to do and not to do in network marketing. Specifically today, I was to talk about how to make the downlines.
CDM, we don't seem to see you on.
Florencia. Sorry.
Please check if your video is enabled.
Mr. Colin, I think if I can come in, I'm requesting that our leader, Mr. Florencia, we first work on her system. I don't know if she's at office. We can make sure we provide the proper network system so that we can listen to her very well. But at the moment, we are not getting any information from her. My request maybe is if the office in Maputo can help us and we correct the network of Florencia. And maybe we can take on another trainer, then we wait for Florencia to be sorted.
Okay, thank you very much, Director, for that guidance. Florencia, you will hold it right there until you rectify that technical problem, and we shall have you back later after health consultant Obini Mark. Obini Mark, are you online?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm online.
All right, we are getting you loud and clear. Try as much as possible to be as audible as you can. Please go ahead with your presentation. That is Consultant Obini Mark, all the way from Kampala, Uganda. Please go ahead.
Thank you for this chance. Morning. I am a health consultant Obini Mark, a certified biomedical lab technologist and a health consultant of Dynapharm International. So before we go any further, I would love to congratulate our new CDMs from South Africa, Mama Winnie and Mama Kozama, for their new leadership positions. Thank you so much for the hard work. So today, we want to talk about kidney health challenges, lifestyle changes, and intervention for the prevention.
Yes, Mark, I would request you to raise your voice a little bit higher so that you can be clear to all people, irrespective of the systems and gadgets they're using. Thank you.
The host, I would love to request you to help me enable me share my screen for the presentation. So I hope everyone is seeing what I'm presenting. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, we can now see your screen. We can now see your screen. Though we request you further work on your audio. Try to raise up the voice or the settings of your audio system.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So we want to talk about the kidneys and the health of the face, the Dynapharm interventions, the treatment. So I would like to introduce to you what the kidneys are. You know them as they are bean-shaped organs that are for the renal system, the system that helps us to pass out urine, the urine that you pass out every day. Every time you pass out urine, there are kidneys involved in the process. You also have the total blood, the toxins they have. Also,
Mark, I'll hold you right there. Participants, are we getting Mark clearly? Is everyone getting a Mark loud and clear?
Am I clear?
Yeah, I think there's an issue with your network and the volume, but
Mr. Mark, can we maybe request that you either remove the earphones and use the laptop directly? It becomes more clearer. The echo sometimes comes from the use of earphones.
Yeah, that is one of our trainers and health consultants, Obini Mark, all the way from Kampala, Uganda. He's trying to rectify his system so that we can get him loud and clear and we don't miss any bit of what he's going to share. So let's give him a few seconds to rectify that and then we can proceed.
Does everyone get me now?
Yes, Mark, we are getting you much better than before, but we are not seeing you on video. Please activate your video and go straight right ahead.
I think it's active. Does everyone get me now?
Yes, we are getting you and we can see your screen and your image. Loud and clear, please go straight ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry about the inconveniences. So I was talking about the kidneys. I was introducing to us what the kidneys actually are so that we are able to understand the actual functions and appreciate for what they are doing in our bodies. So as I was saying, they help the body pass urine, the process by which you take water and urine gets out of the body. That is the kidney that is the intermediate to help us to pass out the urine that we pass out every day. So the kidneys, the way they are shaped, as you see in the screen, they are made out of what we call the nephrons. The nephrons are what give the kidneys their function. It's not one whole thing that works, but it's made of a lot of nephrons that are 1 million nephrons. So this is one of the illustrations of how they actually look like. You find that this is one kidney, but they're showing us that there's one nephron can be around here. This is just one, but we're dealing with 1 million of them that help the body to function properly. So realize that there's blood with waste that goes to the kidneys. After reaching there, it goes through the filtration process, and then the clean blood gets out. So the wastes in the urine get out through the bladder, and then you pass them out. So what are the actual functions of the kidneys? They help in the overall fluid balance. What do they mean? You're going to take in water, you're going to take in salts. There is a balance that is required for these two to occur. So you find that you must balance the two by the help of the kidneys. And then also, the second one is that they help to regulate and filter minerals from blood. The blood has a lot of minerals. You've heard of calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, phosphorus, all that is in the blood. And the kidneys are the ones that help to manage all these minerals. They must be in a certain balance to help the kidneys function properly. And then also, the kidneys help to filter out waste materials from food, medications, and toxins. So as much as you're passing out the urine, you find that there are toxins that are getting out in the urine itself. So all these, all the toxins get out through the kidneys. It helps us to filter out the toxins through the urine that we pass out every day. And then the kidneys are also, they also produce hormones that help to produce red blood cells. There's a hormone known as erythropoietin. It's in charge of producing red blood cells that help us to, the red blood cells in the blood, the one we know of, that helps us transport oxygen in the entire body system. And then also there's vitamin D that we know that is enhanced through the sunlight. So if you stand out in the sun in the morning and get vitamin D, you find that it's the kidneys that actually produce this vitamin D, but the sun enhances the production. So the kidney helps us to produce these two hormones. So as much as we know the kidneys functions only to be concerning the urine process, it also helps us with these two hormones that I've just mentioned about. So in the same process, you find that it helps regulate the blood pressure because as I've talked about the management of the minerals, the quality and the quantity of the minerals in the blood is affects the blood pressure in the long run. If at all these minerals are so many or so little, there is the blood pressure is affected. So we're saying that the kidneys help us produce hormones that help promote bone health. This is the vitamin D that I've talked about. So vitamin D helps in bone health in a way that in case you have your calcium in the body, it becomes so useless in case you don't have vitamin D. How exactly is that? Because the vitamin D helps the body recognize the calcium and then absorb it into the bones or into any part of the body that requires the calcium for its function. So that is how essential the vitamin D is. So these are some of the functions of the kidneys as we see them. So there are some diseases the kidneys face, and we're going to look at them one by one as we go on. So as we see, there is what you call the chronic kidney disease or chronic kidney failure. What does it mean? It means that this disease has been on for a long time before actually the kidney fails. Yeah? So as we see in the illustration, a kidney can be normal. And then as you get a disease, there's an increased risk towards the kidney for it to fail. So, and then it goes up to kidney damage. It gets damaged in case you don't look at in case you don't pay attention to it early enough. So on going forward, it reduces kidney function, and then later on, the kidney fails eventually. So it's better in case you're able to find out how your kidney functions. Try doing a diagnosis on yourself and find out how your kidneys are functioning so that you can be able to protect yourself from the kidney failure. Kidney failure, it has no U-turn. There's no return point from here. It has failed already. You just need a transplant in case both of them are failed. So they're telling us that the kidneys filter waste and remove excess fluid from the blood. So as the kidney fails, the waste start building up. I normally give an example of a sink. Everyone has a sink at home or a bathroom. So you find that in case waste start building up in the drainage system, you find that the bathroom or the sink starts letting out water much more slowly than before. So if at all this process slows down over and over again, you find that the sink is going to fail or the bathroom will fail. So this is how exactly the kidneys are going to function. So in case this happens to it, you find that the kidney totally fails and the person has to consider options of a transplant. So there are some risk factors that lead to chronic kidney disease. We have what you call, we know diabetes. So a person with diabetes can get a kidney problem eventually in case they don't treat the kidney problem with time. So how exactly does this occur? A person who has diabetes, the kidney has tiny blood vessels that direct blood towards it. So you find that eventually, in case this person doesn't treat the diabetes well, these blood vessels are going to get damaged. And the blood transplant, the blood movement towards the kidneys gets affected, and eventually the kidney gets diseased and gets a long time problem. And then also we have we have the blood pressure that affects the kidneys. So we've always, all of us have at least someone who has had a problem with the blood pressure. So if the blood pressure persists for over years and over time without treatment, you find that the blood vessels are going to harden, the blood vessels are going to become very weak, and the blood movement towards the kidneys are going to be affected, and eventually the kidneys will fail in case you don't treat them very, very fast. And then we also have heart problems or stroke. Any complication concerning the heart is going to mean that the person has a blood circulation problem. So as much as we know that the kidney has its own function, it must have the blood to supply it, because we very well know that the blood is the fuel for the body. And in case the blood doesn't reach the kidneys, you find that the kidneys will not do their function properly. Yeah. So we also have obesity. Obesity, you find that a person has a lot of fat deposits everywhere, fat deposits in all parts of the body. And this means that the kidneys are also going to get affected. So in case the person has a lot of fat deposits in the body, you find that the blood supply toward the kidneys is going to be very, very weak, and their functioning is going to be affected as well. So of course, there are also family genetics. Genetics also affect the kidney functioning. These are things that we don't have control over. You just have to manage them and make sure that they don't really kill you so quickly. As long as you discover the problem, you make sure that you treat it. So also tobacco use. Any person who smokes, smoking reduces oxygen levels in the blood. So if at all oxygen is very low in the body, it means that the red blood cells, they're going to be almost useless in case the oxygen is very low. So you find that the kidneys are not going to receive as much oxygen they require, and their functioning is going to be affected. So there is also the issue of age. So the person gets older, 60 years and above, eventually you find that all organs start weakening in their function. So at this stage, you advise everyone to at least be cautious and manage their bodies well so that they're able to function properly. So we've talked about the chronic kidney diseases that lead to kidney failure. So I've also explained how what kidney failure is a condition when the kidneys lose the ability to balance fluid and remove waste from the body. This can be either acute or chronic. And then we've looked at some of the causes that include injury whereby maybe you involved in an accident and you're around the pelvic area where the kidneys are located and you get a problem. And then also the blood pressure issues plus diabetes and other diseases that are involved. So at least I think we've all heard about the kidney stones. So what exactly are kidney stones? Kidney stones, they are small hard deposits of that form in the kidneys and they're hard to pass out. In case you're urinating and you feel a lot of pain, there is a higher chance that you might be having kidney stones. Yeah. So what does it exactly mean? In the mixture of the urine and the minerals and the water, everything inside there. In case the water concentration is really, really high, and you find that these minerals like acid salts, they stick together. They tend to stick together because the water that holds them apart is less. So you find that as they stick together, they form very, very hard rocks. As we see in this image here, is an example of kidney stones. This is how they build up and a person gets affected and the kidney fails eventually. So stones form when urine contains more crystal forming substance such as calcium oxalate. I hope everyone is getting me. How is my speed? Is everyone following?
Yeah, we are getting you loud and clear. Your speed could be reduced slightly, but we are getting you loud and clear.
Thank you so much. So let's look at the kidney stones. So as I was explaining, in case you look at the urine, it has a lot of minerals inside it. We're looking at the calcium, we're looking at the oxalate, we're looking at uric acid. So you find that in case these solids or the minerals or substances are inside the urine, you find that the water must be enough to make these substances to stay apart. So in case the water is less, you find that these substances or the solids are going to clog together and they form very, very hard stones that are going to affect the kidneys. Yeah. So this is a thing that happens in a progress. It happens one by like in a long time. So in case you discover this early enough, you find that you're able to treat the complication before it reaches this stage. So there are some risk factors that lead to kidney stones. We have, of course, genetics that we have no control over. You just have to control. You have to manage and make sure that in case you know that you're at a higher risk of getting such a complication, you try to at least limit yourself from whatever can cause it. So also dehydration, if a person takes little water, as I've said, you find that these substances are going to put themselves together and they're going to lead to the kidney stones. And then also diets high in salt, as we always sing and tell people that in case you're eating food, try to reduce the amount of salt in the food. So in case the salt is so much, it reduces the risk of you getting the kidney stones. So there is a part of the kidneys called glomerulus. It's right here. It's like the first filtration stage of urine in the kidneys. So sometimes this part also gets affected. It gets an inflammation. So we always sing about inflammation all the time. So inflammation can occur even in the kidneys as well. So there's a condition called glomerulonephritis, whereby these tiny filters get inflamed. So these filters, they help to remove excess electrolytes such as sodium, calcium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, all that from your blood and pass them through urine. So it's like a filtration process that helps all these minerals or electrolytes to pass through and get out of the body. And then they're telling us that this problem can occur suddenly or gradually. So as I mentioned before, you must make sure that in case you feel any sign that is causing you discomfort, try to find out what the problem is, and then you treat it early enough. So you find that as these glomeruli or the filters swell or they get inflamed, you find that there are some substances that are not supposed to pass through these filters, such as the proteins. So you can go to a hospital to test for the blood, for the urine, and you find that they find proteins in the urine. So if at all they find proteins in the urine, so there are higher chances that your urine has, your filters of the kidneys have been inflamed or have a certain damage on them. So these are some of the signs as illustrated. So there's also a condition called nephrotic syndrome. They're actually related to the first one. So as these filters swell, you find that you're going to get the nephrotic syndrome because it's in its definition, we see that it's a condition whereby the kidneys secrete a lot of protein in the urine. As I said before, under normal circumstances, you're not supposed to have proteins in your urine. So if at all there's protein in the urine, you find that this is a condition that has affected the filtration process of the kidneys. They're showing us the nephrons, as we said before, and remember that we're talking about 1 million per kidney. So not only one can get affected, all these 500,000 to 1 million of the nephrons per kidney can get affected. So there are some clinical signs that show that a person has this condition of the nephrotic syndrome, whereby most of the protein of the body is being passed out in the urine. So what does this mean? It means that you're wasting a lot of protein. You're having less protein in the body. So one sign, as we see, is edema. Edema means it means water retention, like the water is being retained in the body. I recall saying that the kidneys create a balance between minerals and then water. So in case there's a lot of water retention, this is what we call edema. So as we see, most it happens in children. You find a child has swellings in the face. The face is swollen. You find a child looking like this. This is one sign of limited proteins in the body that can be because of the kidney damages. So also there is what we call the pale skin. You find that some people's skin becomes pale, or they break, what we call the fissure. You find that the skin breaks because proteins are less, because most of them are being filtered through the kidneys. And then also you find that there are high levels of lipids in the body. So in case the filtration of the kidneys is affected, you find that there are a lot of lipids that are retained in the body that must be filtered out by the kidneys, but then still, because of the damage, you cannot be having a correct balance of the two. And then also, there's also proteinuria, what means the protein in the urine, as we said before. You find that if at all there is protein in the urine, you must correct this, because you already know that the glomeruli or the filters of the kidneys are being affected. So sometimes the person can vomit a lot of vomiting, or the nausea kind of feeling is one sign of the kidney problem. So we must understand that this only suggests a kidney problem. It doesn't conclude to a kidney problem. In case you have one of these signs, at least you try to find out what exactly it is before you draw a conclusion to say that this is what it means. Yeah. So also there's what you call a tachycardia, that means the irregular heartbeat or the fast heartbeat. In case the heart beats really fast, there are higher chances that you have a kidney problem. It doesn't only concern or get in relation into the blood pressure. Sometimes it can be kidney problems. So it's best to find out what exactly the cause is. So there's what we call the acute nephritic syndrome. We're looking at the conditions that affect the kidneys. So I hope that we shall be able to understand them slowly by slowly as we move on. It's a group of symptoms that occur that cause swelling and inflammation of the glomeruli and the kidneys. So you find that most of these diseases are a bit related, that cause a kidney problem. Yeah. So you find that this nephritic syndrome sometimes is caused by the autoimmunity. Yeah. Or sometimes it's caused by an immune response that is triggered by an infection. You can get an infection that causes inflammation in the kidneys. Most of these are viral infections, as we see the hepatitis B and C, then measles, and then the mumps. So these are just suggestions of the kidney, of some of the diseases that can damage the kidneys. And then there are some signs that show nephritic syndrome. You find that there's sometimes blood in the urine, or sometimes the person has blood vision. Sometimes hypertension builds up, yeah, or a low output of urine. Sometimes you find that there's high levels of nitrogen nutrients, nitrogen wastes in the urine. You know about the urea, you know about the blood urea nitrogen, you know about the uric acid, you know about the ammonia. All these are part of the nitrogen wastes that build up in the urine. So we also have the protein that can be in the urine. This is also a sign of this acute nephritic syndrome. These are some of the diseases that affect the kidneys, and we're still going forward. We shall see more as we move on. And then we also have what we call we have what you call the PKD, or the polycystic kidney disease. This is where the kidneys develop some clusters of cysts or swellings around the kidneys. So you find that this is how the normal one will look like, very clean and very nice. But here is when the cysts have grown. And this is a stage whereby the person has been feeling some signs, but is not really paying attention to it. And it has really affected the entire organ, as you see. And then most of this complication, most of the time it's genetic. And if at all a person gets such a complication, at least you need to find out, if you feel any sign, actually, try to find out how you stand through diagnosis or any checkup with us. And then this condition can lead to kidney failure by the age of 60. So as we saw earlier, we found that a kidney can have a disease that keeps on running. It keeps on running over time. So as time goes on, this disease builds up, and then eventually the kidney collapses because you fail to pay attention to it. So we also have the famous UTIs. We've known about the UTIs, we've heard about them. The urinary tract infections. These are infections that start from the urinary system and then they move up to the kidneys eventually. Yeah. So they are mostly common in women, but they can usually occur in the bladder or urethra, or there are different parts of the urinary system where the infection can occur. So you find that it can start from the urethra. This is a connection of the bladder to the kidneys. You find that this part gets affected and then the person gets a complication in the kidneys eventually. So there is also what you call the urinary bladder. Sometimes it can get an infection. This is how we classify them, depending on the stage it has reached. And then also there's a condition called pyelonephritis, whereby the disease has moved up into the kidneys. This is the late stage, whereby if you fail to pay attention to it, it goes up and up until it reaches the part of the kidneys. And then also sometimes, actually, because it starts mostly in women, because it's most common in women, you find that they also face a condition called vaginitis, whereby the infection travels from the vagina upwards towards the kidneys. So in case you find an infection or you discover it at an early stage, try to treat it before it travels up to the kidneys, because it's going to become harder to treat, because these are parts that you cannot see. An infection is harder to treat on the inside compared to the outside of the body. So they're trying to illustrate to us how this happens. You find that there is this bacteria. It enters, you go and use a public toilet that is not clean. You pick up some microorganisms from there, or any bacteria or any germ from that dirty place. It travels up from the urethra, it goes up until the bladder. This bladder is where the urine is collected, and then it can move upwards into the kidneys eventually. So these bacteria can come from either the skin surrounding the area, or sometimes it can come from the rectum. Our dear ladies, most times we advise you, in case you're cleaning yourself, mind the direction that you're taking, because you can transmit a bacteria from the digestive system, from the anal region back into the urinary region, that can cause an infection eventually. So this is one of the ways you must manage and avoid this thing from happening to you. So there is a condition called cholestasis. These are calyces. Calyces are like, it's a connection of a tube that connects to the bladder, the urinary bladder to the kidneys. So sometimes it can get inflamed, yeah? So what causes this? Sometimes it can be bladder cancer. The bladder can get a cancer that builds up and causes inflammation of these parts. And then sometimes the kidney can get blocked. What causes kidney blockage? In case there's any damage or any mistake towards deliveries, it can, when a lady is giving birth, it can damage the kidneys depending on how the doctors are doing their work. So it can cause this blockage, and then you get this condition called cholestasis that affects the calyces of the kidneys. So we realize that kidneys get a lot of complications. It's not only one or two, they're actually very many, and depending on our lifestyles and our practices, as we shall see forward, you find that you need to be vigilant about your body. And then there's also what you call acidosis. We always say that acid builds up in our bodies, and this acid is a very, very good environment. It's the best friend of any kind of bacteria. It's a very good environment for any kind of cancers if acid builds up in the body. So if acid builds up in the body, you find that the kidneys also get affected, yeah? So sometimes acid builds up in the body because of poor lung function. Sometimes in case you're breathing and your breathing is not good, you're going to let out less carbon dioxide. That is more acidic. So you find that the acid builds up in the body and it keeps on raising and raising over time. And then sometimes it can be because of the metabolism. As the body breaks down any kind of metabolic substances, what I mean by metabolism, there are a lot of processes that occur in the body, such as digestion. You find that a lot of energy is given off, and sometimes acid is given out in this process. So in case this balance is not taken care of, you find that the acid builds up in the body, causing acidosis. So if acid builds up, the kidneys will always have a problem by default. And if they fail by default, you find that acid still keeps on building up. So it's an interchanging process that affects the body in the long run. So they're showing us some of the signs in case someone has a lot of acid in the body. So remember that these are just signs that point towards this complication, but it's not a conclusion. You need to find out what exactly is causing this. So you find that there's headache, sleepiness, always sleepy, confusion. You don't focus very well. Sometimes the person gets a coma, yeah? So you find that you get some seizures in the muscles, or muscles are weak. You get diarrhea all the time, shortness of breathing, you're coughing all the time, the heart is not pumping properly. You find that there's also nausea, you want to vomit all the time, yeah? So these are some of the signs that show that acid has built up in the body. So with Dynapharm, we are very, very good at getting rid of this acid. So you need to recommend some of the products as we're going to move forward with the presentation. So there's also a condition called uremia. I talked about wastes in the body that contain nitrogen. So if these wastes start building up, you find that you get a lot of them in the body and the kidneys cannot excrete a lot of these at one moment. So uremia, examples of wastes in the body that contain nitrogen include uric acid. I think we are so well conversant with this. We also have the ammonia itself. We have the uremia. Sorry, we have the nitrogen itself. So there are a lot of ammonia containing substances that lead to this condition in case a kidney has a problem. So of course, there are some signs that show up in case a person has this complication. So as I said, in case you discover something, try to treat it as early as possible and don't draw conclusions before you know what the problem actually is. Yeah? So loss of appetite, vomiting comes in, there is diarrhea, weakness, and then edema, water retention comes in. Also, your taste changes, you find that you've lost some bit of taste. Loss of sleep, there's a lot of fatigue that occurs. And then also concentration gets affected. In case a kidney has a problem, there are times when the brain gets limited the blood supply to enable you function very well. And then also muscle cramps, and then some itching. Also, there's also a condition we call hydronephrosis. This is where there's excess fluid in the kidneys due to backup of urine in the kidney. What do they mean? In case a person, in case there's a lot of urine that is retained in the body, you find that it can cause a swelling that eventually leads to the kidney to swell. There's an illustration that is shown here. You find that in case there's an obstruction here, it can cause a swelling that can affect the kidneys. So as you've seen most of these complications, you find that some are common, some are rare, but these are all diseases, all the complications that affect the kidneys. So one of the causes of these is kidney stones, as we saw earlier. As the stones build up in the kidneys, you find that you're going to have a lot of fluid that is retained in the kidneys. And then also the prostate enlargement. Prostate enlargement also leads to this complication because as prostate swells, it blocks other parts of the kidney or the urinary system to function properly. And also, as we have seen earlier before, a person with a prostate enlargement gets constipation. This is a sign of blockage. So as the digestive system is affected, you find that also the urinary system is affected. So sometimes it can be because of blood clot. You can get a blood clot and then it can lead to the what? To the fluid retention in the kidneys. So as we saw earlier about the UTIs, whereby the UTI moves from the open area and travels up into the kidneys, there is this condition called pyelonephritis, whereby the infection has traveled up to the kidneys already. So this is where it is very, very hard to treat. But of course, with consequent and frequent treatment, with discipline, of course, you find that you're able to get rid of this infection that has reached the kidneys. Yeah, most times they are bacterial, but sometimes it can be viral or any other kind of microorganism. So as we've seen most of these complications, you find that there are some symptoms that a person must look out for in case a kidney has a complication. So in the beginning, you must observe the breathing. In case a person has a breathing complication, at least try to, in your choices of diagnosis or choices of checkup, try to find out how the kidneys are functioning, because they have a lot of functions that we have seen earlier. And then if at all you have fatigue, find out all other problems that cause the fatigue and rule them out. In case it points toward the kidneys, you still get the time to go and pay attention to them so that you can treat the complication. And then inability to, if you're not able to concentrate well, inability to concentrate, you find that you should be able to at least understand that maybe the kidneys have a problem. Yeah. Also dry and itchy skin. We saw this in the state where a person has a lot of protein being secreted out in the urine and have less of it retained. It can lead to this condition of the dry skin. And then also we have decreased or increased urination. You as a person, you're able to tell that I'm urinating so much or so less from the normal patterns that you take. So in case you see a difference in this, at least try to find out how the kidneys are functioning. And then also the blood and urine, this is no good sign. In case there is any redness or any blood in the urine, at least try to go to any diagnostic center and find out what the problem is. And also in case the urine is not clear, in case it's foamy or it's a bit white, the color is not so clear, it's also a sign of a kidney problem. You can still go to the diagnostic center and find out what the complication is. And then also the puffiness around the eyes. We saw about the edema that occurs in the eyes. It can also be a sign of a kidney complication. Also foot or ankle swellings, these are all types of edema. Edema can occur in a part of the body, but as we saw earlier, most times it starts from the face. But sometimes you find people that they have their feet swollen. Yeah, they complain about swelling feet when they sit for a long time. So most times this complication or this sign points towards a kidney disease. And then also there's also reduced appetite. Sometimes appetite can be due to another disease, but sometimes it can be because of the kidneys. And also the muscle cramps, as we have seen. We find that a person has a lot of muscle cramps, or there is a lot of involuntary contraction. The muscle contracts, or it strains itself without you controlling it. You find that you need to at least discover the problem and know that your kidneys are either fine or not fine, so that you can treat them eventually. So as we've seen all these complications, there are methods or there are practices a person must take forward to make sure that the kidneys are healthy. So we always say that try as much as you can to avoid extra salt. If you take a lot of salt, you're going to overwork the kidneys and you're going to get complications eventually. And also exercise is essential. As much as it's good for the heart and blood circulation, even the kidneys need the exercise very well, because the fluid balance sometimes, almost times, is assisted by the exercise. Yeah, so the kidney is able to work properly in case your exercise routine is really good. And also you need to stay hydrated. You need to take water as much as you can, at least 8 liters a day, but sometimes it's very difficult to maintain this. So in case you're able to at least try to adjust from the current low intake of water, try to at least increase to a point whereby you can manage. It can be helpful to the health of the kidneys. So of course, as you're taking medications from the hospital, try to use them with caution. We always advise people, don't do self-treatment. Try to look for advice for treatment from any expert that can tell you what to take. In case of instead of just taking medications anyhow, because eventually an overdose or a misuse of medication can affect the kidneys. And also, you should know the risk factors. You should be knowledgeable about the kidneys. So I'm sure that from all the slides that we've looked at from this presentation, we've understood that and we've known the risk factors of kidney disease. So in case you know that you're doing any kind of practice that is going to cause you a kidney problem, try as much as you can to at least try to reduce that practice, such as smoking. Try to reduce it. It can affect the kidneys. And just I've forgotten, but the alcohol consumption also, it leads to a lot of urine passing out all the time and all the time and all the time. So this is overworking the kidneys. So eventually the person will get a kidney complication. So if you're having such kind of practices, try to reduce them as much as you can. Salt intake, as we've seen, sugar also has a contribution to this. So at least stay vigilant and then make sure that you have the healthy kidneys as much as you can. So in case all these, you've done all this and you feel like you've done to the maximum, you can at least try to use Dynapharm recommendations for the kidney management and treatment. In case you have a person who has a kidney problem, whichever stage it is, use the products and you find that the person will feel a difference, and eventually the treatment will work and the person gets rid of the complication. Our best product for a kidney problem is Dynatonic. Dynatonic, it's a fusion of many herbs, and of which some of them are very good for the kidneys. They energize it so that they can help it function properly and do the filtration process well. Any kind of repair, the person can see the signs reducing of any kidney complication. And also we have the famous liquid chlorophyll and guarana juice. This product is very good for cleansing. So in case you do the cleansing, you find that you're getting rid of a lot of toxins that will have built up and overwhelm the kidneys. So this eventually helps the kidneys function properly. So just as chlorophyll, we have the wheatgrass. The wheatgrass, we know it for being similar to the chlorophyll because of this chlorophyll content. You find that it also helps the kidneys function well because it helps with the cleansing process. And also we have the Kenzo Takara, another cleanser of ours. You find that as you use it, the toxins get out, and then eventually you get rid of the kidney complication that may come because of the toxins. So we also have what we call the E-Ginkgo tablets. E-Ginkgo, we know it for being good as a blood, something that increases the blood circulation. It increases blood circulation very effectively. So you find that in case of any disease such as diabetes or hypertension or excessive smoking that can affect the blood circulation towards the kidneys, this product can help to at least increase the blood circulation and the kidneys get their fuel for functioning properly. And then we know about the noni juice. Noni juice has an active ingredient called pro09 that helps to enlarge the cell powers and help the cells function properly. Our bodies are made out of a lot of cells, and the kidneys also have their own cells. So in case you take noni juice for any kidney complication, definitely you get an improvement and a recovery from this complication with the consumption of this product. And then also, we talked about the infections or the UTIs. In case someone has a UTI, you can at least try to use a feminine wash with Siri or the tea tree oil with feminine wash. As much as you see that they're called feminine wash, you find that even a man can use them in case they're trying to get rid of this infection. So at least try to capsules. Yigano capsules also, they help with the kidney functioning in a way that because of their cleansing property, you find that they help to clean out most of the toxins, and because it's also an antioxidant, it gets rid of these free radicals that can build up and lead to a kidney complication. And then the Yang Yin, it helps with the kidneys in a way that it improves the circulatory system. Any heart complication, any complication that involves blood circulation, you find that this product can help to improve that blood movement and the person gets the recovery from the kidney complications. So the e-garlic, as much as it has a property of antibacterial properties, it can get rid of the infections from the inside, but also it can also help with the getting rid of the toxins from the body, and the kidneys will start functioning properly. Yeah, so these are some of the recommendations for the kidney complications. So in case of any additions or any supplements, you can always add onto this. Back to the host. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Obini. That is one of our health consultants from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you very much for that knowledge-packed presentation. A lot of science, but we have learned a lot. And right now, if we have anyone with any submissions, additions on the relevant topic Mark has presented, or any questions for him, please unmute and go ahead. If we have any questions for Mark Obini before he leaves us, please unmute and you go ahead and ask your question. Do you have someone there?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your question or addition.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mujo from Dynapharm, Guinea. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this initiative. Unlikely I joined quite late, but the topic being discussed over kidney is very important. Just to thank the previous moderator or the previous speaker, the doctor. Only want to highlight on a few that I've noticed. For example, milk thistle, which is chardonnay in French, I think is also quite important for the kidney, just like it does for the liver. It has it is called simmering. It protects it promotes cell regeneration. In case the liver is already damaged, Dynapharm product, milk thistle, is also equally important. The other one maybe I would want to add is mangosteen. Mangosteen is as well as important to the kidney like it is to the liver. So those are just a few products I want to supplement that are important to the kidney development or regeneration of the kidney cells. Otherwise, thank you everyone. Greetings from Guinea.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mujo, for that supplement. Thank you very much. Anyone with any questions, additions, before we can move to our CDM from Maputo? Yeah, as we prepare to have Florencia from Maputo, Mozambique, I would love to tell our distributors that we bring this science and a lot of knowledge so that it can guide you when you're prescribing products for different clients, so that you can see which products are the best for a certain health challenge and any other alternatives just in case certain products are not available. So it's important that we give attention to different health consultants, which I'll continuously bring online for us to share the science of different health challenges. Thank you very much. CDM Florencia, are you back online?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, CDM. That is CDM Florencia Mondlane, all the way from Maputo, Mozambique. We lost her earlier, but I think now we can get you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Florencia, CDM from Maputo, Mozambique. First of all, I would like to thank the opportunity that I was given to present this theme, how to motivate the downlines. And saying that I will be presenting both in English and Portuguese, because the national language in Mozambique is Portuguese. Most of our colleagues cannot follow the trainings because of the language barrier. So, thank you. How to motivate our downlines. First of all, when we register people, I love the day when Founder Munene said that recruiting people is not sponsoring people. We have to create a mindset whereby we are sponsoring people, not just recruiting. Because if we are not sponsoring, the people would get demotivated. One of the reasons that our downlines are not motivated is because most of us, we don't tell them the truth. We just go there and tell them that there is money, but we are failing to show them how to make the money. And if we could tell them the truth and show them the way, they will understand what to do. So I would like to tell you exactly what I do to keep my team motivated, because they are motivated. When I sponsor somebody, first of all, I have to go through this person with all the registration kit one by one, what we have in the registration kit, explaining to him or to her what are those manuals for. So when they do this, they will understand what to do. Actually, I have prepared to explain to you leaders, so you can use the same thing if you wish. Once you register somebody, you sit down with that person and you give him or her a homework for the next day. What for? To read the catalog, just 3 pages. What for? Those pages, they contain the 3 products that we get from the registration. So they will read and understand what are they taking. Can you follow me? Is that clear?
Yes, we are following you very, very well. Please continue.
Thank you very much. So when they go home, they read those products. And if the training the following day starts at 10, you ask him or her to come back at 9:30. So you sit half an hour before with that person, you talk to him or to her, what did he read? It's not to test, but you have to find out what problems he found. So you tell him those products, those 3 products that you read, these are the products that you are taking. So you must understand first. And this is very good because you can see what kind of downline are you dealing with. First of all, when he comes back, you ask, did you read what I asked you? Will say yes. So any problem? Let's start from the catalog. Oh yeah, I read, I understood everything. Impossible. This is a new world. If you read, for example, about Jinku, you will find things that you don't understand. So if he or she says that she understood, you immediately understand what kind of person are you leading with. It's an honest person or it's a person that is not doing things seriously. Did you read everything? Yes. So what is a healing crisis? He will start mumbling because he will not know. This comes on the body system guide. So you give him another chance. You said, okay, I can understand that you could not read. Maybe you were busy. Let's do it for tomorrow. You go and read. 2 things will happen. Either he goes and read properly to come back to you, or he will give up. So you help the person slowly by slowly. Importantly, we have the business manual. I normally give them the same day for the homework to read from page 2 to page 8 to get familiar with the words that we use, the terminology, like what is a upline, downline, things like that. So when he comes back, he will be ready to understand when you start with him. So after that, you teach him to start the business properly, what he needs to do. You are leading this person. You are helping this person. It's not just registering and let him go. No, because he doesn't know what to do. It's like a baby. As women, when we come back from the hospital with the baby, we just don't leave the baby there to change the nappies herself. No, we help step by step until he grows up and he gets to university. Other thing that we have to tell them is, look, let's work. I want to teach you so you will get independent as soon as possible. Leaders, don't become firemen. Where is fire? You go there to extinguish the fire. No, prepare the people to be able to solve the problems themselves. If I can open some brackets, let me, unfortunately, I have to use both language because of Mozambique and Angola. So from what I have said, for English speakers, please hold on for me. I'm going to Portuguese. Bom dia, colegas, Angola e Moçambique. Como é que nós podemos ter os nossos downlines motivados? Número 1, devemos ajudar a eles a começar o negócio como deve ser. Nós, quando vamos registrar alguém, quando nós vamos patrocinar alguém, devemos ensinar o que esta pessoa deve vir fazer. Devemos ser verdadeiros. Devemos explicar a pessoa para compreender para onde é que vem, não é? Não podemos, anda a fazer muito dinheiro, aqui tem muito dinheiro, mas depois não mostramos como fazer o nosso dinheiro. Entendam que o teu downline, quando ganha, é muito melhor porque você também vai ganhar. Ajuda as pessoas a resolver os problemas deles, que os seus problemas irão desaparecer. Quando você registra alguém, no dia do registro, você precisa, eu estou a dizer exatamente aquilo que eu faço. Entrego um TPC. Digo, olha, pega no catálogo, vai fazer a leitura de 3 páginas, onde está o hidinco, clorofila e o outro produto que é dado, o café, não é? Portanto, página 3, 28 e 32 para o catálogo em português. Para quê? Quando a pessoa chega em casa, vai ler, estará a ler os produtos que ele deve tomar. Então, tu dizes, se o treinamento é às 10 horas, peça a pessoa para voltar no dia seguinte, às 9h30, para sentar com ele. 30 minutos antes do treinamento, que é para você ver o que aquela pessoa leu. Então, pergunta, leu? Vamos ver. Este é um passo muito importante porque vai conseguir ver que tipo de pessoa que você está a lidar com ela. Se for uma pessoa honesta, leu e vai apresentar dúvidas imediatamente, porque é um mundo novo, há muitas perguntas por fazer. Se honesta, vai dizer, li tudo, compreendi, não há problema. Entra, você compreende. Por exemplo, fala de alguma coisa sobre o IDIN, não vai ser capaz de te responder. Então, você percebe que aqui há problemas de honestidade. Não tenha medo, você não vai ofender. Diz a ele, olha, aqui tu vais ter sucesso se começares a ser honesto. O que eu estou a ver é que você não leu. Então, mais uma chance, amanhã às 9h30. Vai ler, depois volta. Então, quando volta, você vai ver, ele vai ler. 2 coisas podem acontecer, ou lê, ou então desiste. Mas você está à procura das pessoas para fazerem o trabalho como deve ser. Quando você lê, acabei tudo, porque você vai mandar ler o guia do sistema do corpo só onde diz o quê? O bem-vindo. Primeiro, essa parte faz com que ele saiba que não está a lidar com medicamentos, mas sim está a lidar com suplementos. É muito importante conhecer essa diferença. Manda ler onde diz reajustamento nutritivo. Ele percebe o que é crise de cura. É muito importante isso. E o conselho geral, o que uma pessoa deve fazer quando está a suplementar. Então, quando ele volta, você senta com ele e lhe mostra por que você pediu para que lesse isso para ele compreender. E daí começa passo a passo a trabalhar com ele. I'm back in English. So, after teaching or showing your downline, your new downline what to do, you have to lead by example. This is very, very crucial. You do not get the results that you want if you don't do yourself. Don't tell people to do things. Do yourself, they will copy you. So when you do this, they will get motivated. They will want to be near you to learn how things are done. I can tell you for sure, this works. Whenever you feel like something is wrong with my team, people are not doing this that they should do. People are not recruiting. Sit down at home, in your bedroom, wherever, think about yourself. Am I doing what I want them to do? Let's make a list of 5 things that I would like, and you start until you want. So you become you will attract what you become. So your team, you will see that you are doing and they will do as well. This is very, very important. Motivating a team is to make them feel that somebody not watching, you are not their boss, they are not your employees, but make sure that you inspire him, you inspire them. They will see by example that, okay, my upline, my leader is doing this, so they will do as well. It's very important to educate your people to know that they have to help their downline, not only, but other people's downline. Because if they don't help other people, they will be, Dynapharm is international. If I say, okay, I'm going to only work with my
We seem to be having an interruption with the connection of CDM. I hope we shall get it back as soon as possible. Anyone close to CDM Florencia, please let her know that we have lost a connection there. She could be going ahead and yet we're not getting any feedback from this side. We seem to have lost our CDM from Maputo, CDM Florencia. I think if we fail to get her as soon as possible, then we shall need to move ahead to CDM Richie Munene. As we wait for CDM Florencia to come back online, if there is anyone who has any supplement or addition based on the topic she was presenting, which is how to motivate your downlines. If there's anyone with a suggestion, I can see many leaders online who can share with us how you can motivate your downlines. We know that downlines are very important in building this business. And as a leader, if they're not motivated, they're not inspired, then they can easily get out of the game and fall out of business. Do we have anyone online?
Yes, hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Owen, currently in Sierra Leone, managing Sierra Leone Dynapharm Limited. I would like to supplement on what the previous speaker said. It is very paramount in order to retain your downlines and to motivate them as well, to have meetings with them monthly. Once that is done, it will be specifically one of the motivation modules to make sure that they keep on board. The most challenging part is that after registering a downline or any other person, most of the leaders do neglect them. And you find someone getting bonus at the end of the month and doesn't know how that bonus was generated. And others, you find them, they're complaining and they no longer even know where their leaders are. So they get demoralized, and at the end of it all, they leave the business. But as far as meeting and being in touch with your downlines is concerned, once that one is put in place, I'm very sure, and I have witnessed that seriously downlines or your registrants become motivated and they feel at home in a business of Dynapharm. So meeting your downlines is part and parcel of motivating them as well. I have another point on bonus. There is one strategy that I think that can as well work once bonus is released, whereby a leader can call his or her downlines, have meetings with them and explain to them their earnings, how they have managed to earn that kind of bonus they have got. And those who have earned much, how they have earned much, those who have earned less, why they have earned less, and streamline where possible. And these meetings can be done because once this happens, it clearly brings out the picture of being in business, and it also encourages them to bring more people, and the group really merges. So that is one of the supplements that they had in addition to the previous speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Owen. That was Owen right away from Sierra Leone. I can see we have CDM Florencia back online. Florencia, please go ahead with your submission.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry. Yes, I'm having this issue. I'm not in the main office. I think that's why. So as I was saying, we what we want our downlines to be. We can never be successful if we don't do ourselves what we want to be done. This is the main thing that I would like to tell you. Being a leader, you will motivate your downlines if you help them to manage their business, not to try to treat Dynapharm or the Dynapharm business as a hobby, as something that they do whenever they have time. No, teach them that this is a business. This is where from you get your income. If you have a big team, for example, within them, if you find that somebody is inspiring, you have a story from that person that can inspire others. Let me give you an example. I have some people that they are very young and they continue their studies using the income from Dynapharm to pay their universities. So I ask them to give the testimony during training so others will get inspired. This is very, very fundamental. Also, this is an advice. Teach them not to gossip, because gossip kills your business. When they gossip, they are spending their energy, the energy that they need to build the business just to gossip. So what I taught them, you can use in yours as well. Whoever among them talk something that they see that this is not good, they say, how many BVs are you getting in that? How many BVs? So whenever you want to say something, make sure that you say something positive according to your business, so you will make your business grow. It's very, very important that we treat them very well. Our main objective is to get a downline to be independent as soon as possible. But an inspired downline will get independent and does his thing. So I will go to Portuguese for a little while. Meus companheiros, Angola e Moçambique, eu estava a explicar que é muito importante você conseguir com que os seus downlines estejam inspirados, mas para você conseguir isso, você tem que ser aquilo que você quer que os downlines sejam. O que é que você faz? Sempre que você sentir que alguma coisa não está bem com a sua equipe, ou que as pessoas não estão a trabalhar, não são as pessoas que não estão a trabalhar, a pergunta seria, hey, o que é que eu não estou a transmitir que faz com que isto não esteja bem? Então, quando estiver em casa, senta, faz uma lista talvez de 5 coisas que você gostaria que os seus downlines fizessem. Por exemplo, você pode dizer, eu gostaria que dentro de uma semana cada pessoa conseguisse pelo menos fazer 10 apresentações. Começa você a fazer 10 apresentações e seja consistente. Você vai se tornar aquilo vai ficar contigo e vais fazer. Então, toda a gente, ao disser, vamos fazer isso, vão fazer porque te veem a fazer. Não vale a pena ficar na sala de aula e dizer, hey, convide. As pessoas não vão convidar. Não é porque aquelas pessoas estão a dizer, ela está dizendo para eu convidar, então eu não vou convidar porque ela não convida. Nem passa por isso. Isso é uma coisa um pouco espiritual, a gente nem sabe como acontece, mas o universo foi desenhado assim. Você não atrai aquilo que você deseja, aquilo que você quer. Você atrai aquilo que você é. Então, torne-se aquilo que você quer e você vai conseguir atrair este tipo de coisas. Então, nós queríamos pedir, ou eu, como Florencia, como CDM, vamos pôr as coisas a funcionar. A Dynapharm é nossa. Nós somos crescidos, alguns de nós já temos uma certa idade, não é tempo este de estar a saltar de uma companhia para outra. Então, como é que você pode conseguir isso? Mais uma vez, eu trago aqui uma estratégia que eu tenho usado. É muito raro alguém conseguir levar uma pessoa na minha equipe para uma outra empresa. O que é que eu faço? Eu gostaria de compartilhar isto convosco. Não assusto a ninguém, não minto para ninguém, mas eu ensino o perfil da Dynapharm. O nosso perfil é muito poderoso, muito mesmo. Desde as boas práticas da produção dos suplementos, nós produzimos os nossos próprios suplementos. Nós temos os nossos laboratórios. Então, é preciso mostrar ao downline para saber o perfil com muita profundidade. O que vai acontecer se alguém chega e diz, olha, Dynapharm não tem dinheiro, vamos para ali. O teu prospecto, o teu downline vai perguntar àquela pessoa, essa empresa quando é que nasceu? Quem é o dono? Como é que vocês fazem para produzir os suplementos? o que vai acontecer é que aquela pessoa não vai conseguir explicar, e ele vai dizer, não, tu não me vais levar para um sítio que nem tu conheces, agora eu vou para onde? Então, as pessoas não aceitam. Vou voltar um pouco para o inglês. My dear fellows, other thing that we can do to help our downlines, we have seen that around all the world, not in Mozambique, I don't know, but in Mozambique it happens a lot. People from other companies trying to steal. I can say steal, I repeat, steal our downlines. You have to avoid this. How? You don't need to tie up people or scare them. Just tell them the truth. Teach something that is very powerful, very, very powerful to your downlines. Teach the profile company. Sounds very simple, but you can't imagine how this saved me and my team by knowing it. You know, you have to teach your team how we produce our products. Who produce for us? It's us. We have our own laboratories. So teach them the profile properly. What will happen? Somebody comes and say, okay, Dynapharm, no money, let's go. Where to? There is a company that came now and they have a lot of money. First of all, people need to know that nobody gives money for free. Number two, what your downline will ask many questions. You will say, the name of the company, you can give the name, the owner, the founder, sometimes they don't know. How do you produce your supplements? They don't know. Immediately, your downline will say, sorry, how are you going to take me to a place where you don't know exactly how things are? I'm not going because I'm in a place where I know this, everything. And he started talking about the profile company. This is a way, one of the ways that we can save our teams from being stolen. They will be motivated because they know where they are coming from. We have a good practice of producing our products. They are of very high quality. We have many certificates of recognition. Many people know about ISO. Once you say, wow, oh, is that so? And we have our Muslims, they do not consume, they consume halal, and who say, I don't want your product, or who will accept to go to other places where they don't use all the products or no. So it's very important to keep them motivated. We have to save our own energy and the energy of our downline. Avoid the distractions. We have many distractions. In fact, we are of distraction. So if we could avoid this, we will have our teams highly motivated. They will work properly. And we have also, apart from leading by example, we have to recognize the achievers. When I say achievers, I'm not talking only about those that cars or phones, the small things that they do. You have to recognize them. If you have to criticize them, not in public. Let me tell you a small, it's not a story, but I had a downline. It's my direct downline and it's very good. Now he's a Pearl manager. I won't mention his name. He was having a problem when he was talking to his team. He will be so aggressive. So I was seeing that, I was watching. One day I called him, I sat down with him. I said, look, do not scratch people until they bleed. You talk to them. You need to properly explain how he is the best. He knows how to monitor his team, to talk to his team. But these are these kind of things that we have to help our team to do. Because if them to solve their problems. And thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to thank all the leaders, taking this opportunity to thank my team, because I have a big team. I have a very powerful leg in Angola that I don't know. I just know one person, and he built a very solid. I'm grateful for that. For Director Baruma, Director Richard. Thank you very much, all of you here in Mozambique, all the distributors all over the world. Let's take Dynapharm seriously. Let's do our work so that Dynapharm will grow in Africa and be an example. Thank you very much. Let me talk in Portuguese to say thank you to them. Meus colegas, tudo que eu falei era exatamente para mostrar que é possível. Aquilo que as outras pessoas dizem que não é possível. É preciso você trabalhar com a tua equipe. A tua equipe é o teu foco principal. Os downlines, porque nós dizemos downline não trabalha, não, quem não trabalha não é downline, é você que não está a mostrar o caminho. Então, senta um pouco, muda de atitude, os seus downlines vão trabalhar. Gostaria de ter esta oportunidade para agradecer a todos os distribuidores em todo o mundo, especialmente em África, agradecer ao diretor Baruma, agradecer ao diretor Richard, dizer que eu tenho uma perna muito forte em Angola, acho que não sabe a que vem de mim, mas eu sou uma pessoa em Angola de então aquela perna passou para Angola e é uma perna muito, muito grande que eu terei a oportunidade de conhecer. Muito, muito obrigada e até a próxima vez. Thank you very much for listening to this to me. I'm very grateful and you the next time. Muito obrigada, asante sana. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, CDM Florencia Mondlane, all the way from Maputo, Mozambique. Thank you very, very, very much.
Photography video is mostly everything. Newspapers, everybody reads newspapers. 30 years ago, right? You would have to go to the newspaper. And there's something and I don't know if this is like the column you're talking about, but there's something in America called the op-ed. You ever heard of it? Anybody know what that is? Not bad. Not bad is somebody, the best that it kind of knows what they're talking about, who says they're, okay? And people go right to the state, right? Still to this day, go to this page and say, okay, what's the op-ed person saying? So, for example, he said, let's go to that name, something like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was CDM Florencia from Maputo with very, very powerful and inspirational words. And there is something I want to emphasize. She says, your downlines are not your employees. Inspire them. Thank you very much, CDM Florencia. We shall go right ahead to CDM Richie Munene, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Richie, are you with us? CDM Richie Munene, are you with us?
Yes, I am right here, Mr. Collins.
Yes, thank you very much. That is one of our powerful and great leaders all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. He will be sharing with us about how our mindset can affect the success of failure in Dynapharm business. We are happy to have you with us, CDM. Please go right ahead and share with us. Yes, CDM, can you hear me? CDM Richie Munene, are you getting me clearly?
Thank you very much. Yes, I can hear you, but although it's breaking, yeah, it's not very clear.
Okay, but we are getting you loud and clear. Please go ahead with your submission. We seem to be having a connection problem with CDM Richie Munene all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Richie, are you online? That was Richie Munene from Nairobi. We hope we shall get him back as soon as possible because we need to give him enough time to share with us about mindset and how it affects how we achieve or fail to achieve in Dynapharm. As we wait for Richie to rectify that technical problem, if we have anyone with any supplements on Florencia's topic, how to motivate our downlines, and let's try to be as brief as possible. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you. Reed, are you trying to say something? You unmute your microphone. We don't seem to be getting audio from you. Please check your connection.
You hear me?
Yes, we can now hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk something about what Florence has been talking about. You see, this topic of motivation is really very big and very wide. Because there are very many things when we talk about the product, but there are something you find that, for example, there are very many younger distributors who are coming in the training for the first time. But when they come, they know about the products and they know about the marketing plan, but they just go back home after the training. What is causing this? It is because these people, they don't know what to do. There are things which should be also addressed to them, most especially talk about approaches to selling. Remember, we are dealing with the direct selling, which is marketing. And you know, in order to do direct selling, there are approaches. For example, when someone goes in the field, there are very many negatives which some of these people fear. How to approach a person. He called that I need chlorophyll. He didn't call that how to do a relationship immediately with this person whom he or she is seeing for the first time. So these are some of the things we should also talk about. And also talk about selling. How does really someone sell a product? Because these are some of the key things to person who
That was read. I can see CDM Richie Munene online. Richie, are you there? Richie, I see you online. Please unmute and go ahead and share with us. Richie Munene, are you online? Let's hear from Richie Munene. I don't know if you're getting my audio. Please unmute and go ahead. Richie, are you online? We don't seem to be getting audio from your side. Please unmute and activate your video so that we can see you and hear you clearly.
How about now?
Yes, we can now hear you. We can now hear you. Just activate your video so that you can go ahead and present. Thank you.
And you can see me?
I can hear you. I hope the participants are seeing you.
Yes.
CDM, we seem to have lost you again. Are you hearing me?
No.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Rich.
Richie, please go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, just raise your voice a little higher and then proceed with your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Collins, for facilitating this meeting. It's a great pleasure for me always to share about Dynapharm. I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for this topic about the mindset. And the first thing that comes to the mind is, what is the mind? How can you succeed with the right mindset in Dynapharm? Because we realize one thing, the mind is the one which feels, it's the one which wants. So in every sense, the mind, we can call it, it is the womb where ideas are born. Because when you think about it, it is where, it's where there are certain values which we grow. And because of the aspects, the environment where we grow, it affects us even in our latter life. So you find many people, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of worry, even in our journey in Dynapharm, because you find people, they don't have the courage, they don't have the confidence in their journey in Dynapharm. So the first and most important thing in your journey in Dynapharm is you must have the right mindset. And for you to have the right mindset, you must believe in yourself. That is very critical, because if you don't believe in yourself, you can't believe in what you're doing. So in Dynapharm, I've come to realize that for you to succeed, you must believe in yourself. You must believe in Dynapharm. You must believe in the product that you are dealing with. It is very, very crucial for us. I've been in Dynapharm for about 15 years now. And through this journey, it has not been easy, because you know, confidence is not the absence of fear. But you must face these facts. You get discouraged, but with the right mindset, you'll be able to push yourself. You'll be able to move despite the challenges that you are facing. So my dear leaders, my fellow CDMs, You are aware in this journey that believing in yourself, believing in the company, believing in the message of Dynapharm, it is very crucial for us because it is a must. And there is also a process where we have to go, which we have to go through for us to attain these things. We must be people who are willing to be taught, people who are willing to listen the challenges. Like we had a very big challenge here in Nairobi. We didn't have products for almost 2 years, but
We seem to have lost you, Richie. Try to see if your connection is clear. We don't seem to be getting audio from your side now.
how is it now?
Yeah, it's now fine. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can now hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So where was I now? I was just talking and talking. So it's very important for us as leaders to believe in the message of Dynapharm.
We seem to have lost you again. I don't know if you can use direct audio from your laptop. Joseph, please help us, technical team. Let's find that we only have Richie Munene making his presentation. Let's unmute let's mute everyone that is not speaking other than CDM Richie Munene. Yes, Richie, please go ahead. Richie, are you hearing me?
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate. So as I was saying, I was given a small scenario of an experience which we experienced here in Nairobi, Kenya. We had a very big challenge about the product. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, please go ahead. CDM, please go ahead.
Hello?
CDM Richie, are you with us?
Hello?
Yes, we can now hear you. Please go ahead.
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I was given a small experience which we encountered here in Nairobi, Kenya, whereby we had a very big challenge on products. So many people left Dynapharm because of that, because they didn't have the You see, you must have the right mindset. You must believe in the company. So most people went, and for about 2 years, they never worked, which means they never got their bonus. But somehow we stuck with Dynapharm. We stuck with the story of Dynapharm. So it is very important for us to believe in the message of Dynapharm, believe in the company, because it is a requirement for us. For us to succeed, we must have that positive mental attitude towards our company, towards our management, towards our distributors, towards our products. It is very crucial for us. That's why you find most people will fail along the way for lacking that positive mindset. Also, most people don't want to learn, but we must be willing to learn on a daily basis, because Dynapharm is not a syllabus that you will cover. Every day is a learning experience. It's a new day. And every prospect whom you have, they are different. They react differently. Different environment, different languages. You'll find yourself you are in a different country. They don't speak English. They don't speak Swahili. You must learn. Like remember, we found ourselves in Mozambique. We couldn't speak the language, but somehow along the way we managed to speak the language of Dynapharm, because as long as you say Tonkat Ali, it can work. It can do ABCD, even with you through expressions, not necessarily talking, but we used even to use our hands to tell people Tonkat Ali will make you strong. So those are the things which we go through, and we must have that positive mental attitude. And also we must be people who set goals, because you must know who you are. And before you know who you are, you can't achieve anything. So it is very important, you know, what is your purpose? Because I believe you don't just find yourself in Dynapharm by accident. You are there for a reason. You are there for a purpose. And if you find your purpose, you'll be able to change people's lives, because Dynapharm is dynamic. Dynapharm is all about, as much as we are looking for money, as much as we are looking for the houses, the cars, we must be people who are people-oriented, people who want to change people's lives, because that is that's the most fundamental part. I might not be a millionaire in Dynapharm, but when I go and hear a story of a person, they could not get a kid. They were infertile, but somehow you give Maharani, you give chlorophyll. Then after 1 year, 2 years, you hear there's that story of there's a Dynapharm baby. It makes your heart feel great. So that's the change I'm talking about. And when you change people's life, of course, you'll drive the Dynapharm cars. You'll live in the Dynapharm homes, because for 15 years, I've been able to achieve most of my dreams through Dynapharm. If I can tell you a small story, I never dreamt of boarding an aeroplane, but because of Dynapharm, it was possible for me to do that. Right now, I'm driving my Dynapharm second car. It was a far-fetched dream, but today it's a reality for me. So I'm so grateful in my journey in Dynapharm. Secondly, we must be very patient, because you find people, they are not patient. Every day there are new companies popping.
CDM, please check your connection. We seem to have lost you. We don't seem to be getting audio from your side. CDM, if you're hearing me, please work on your audio and let's proceed. We don't seem to be getting any feedback from you. That was CDM Richie Munene, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, with a very powerful message. Unfortunately, technology is not giving us the best of him, but we hope it can be rectified and we proceed. As we wait for CDM Munene to come back online, maybe if we have any leader who can make a supplement on issues of mindset in relation to our Dynapharm business. Unmute and go ahead. Any leader with a supplement on mindset as we wait for CDM to come back online?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, please go ahead. Yes, if you have a submission, please unmute and go ahead in just 30 seconds. Thank you.
Okay. Are you hearing me? Florencia
Yes,
again from Mozambique.
Please go ahead.
Just to add to what CDM Rich said, it's very, very important to believe in the company. You must sit and ask yourself, what kind of leader are you? If the company faces challenges, are you running away or you stay there and stay around the company until they are able to solve this issue? Can be sometimes of a great help to help solving the issue. So you must sit down and think, what kind of leader are you? How to put this? Por causa daquilo que o CDM Rich disse, por causa de acreditar na companhia onde nós estamos, você tem que se perguntar, que tipo de líder eu sou? Quando a empresa está em problemas, eu fujo ou eu fico ali perto, que é para ajudar, ou mesmo estar ali até que a empresa consiga ultrapassar esses desafios. Você foge ou fica? E eu gostaria que cada um se perguntasse. Obrigado. Thank you. It's just what I wanted us to do. Any people, any person, he must ask himself, herself, what kind of leader I am. When the company faces run away, or I stay around until the company can solve the challenge. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, CDM Florencia from Maputo, for that powerful comeback. We really appreciate your inputs in today's live presentation. Thank you. If we have anyone else who has one or two submissions to add, please unmute and go right ahead. And CDM Richie, if you happen to come back online, please notify us so that we can go straight to you, because you were disturbed by internet connections, and we still wanted to hear in depth from your submission. So as we wait for CDM Richie Munene, please, if you have any other addition, please unmute and share with us. Yeah, leaders, Richie Munene was sharing with us about the mindset in relation to how mindset success or failure in Dynapharm. Yes, we have someone online. Do we have? Yes, I can see Richie online, back online. Please, Richie, unmute and go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Collins. Sorry for the disruption of the network. So, as I was saying,
yeah,
you must be a person. Yeah, thank you. So, as I was saying, you must believe in yourself. That is very important. Number one, you must set goals. You must know who you are, because as I was saying, you didn't find yourself in Dynapharm by accident, but you came here for a reason and for a purpose. And you must find that purpose. Why are you in Dynapharm? Why should you do Dynapharm? Because you find so many people fail in their journey in Dynapharm because they don't know who they are. They don't know why they're in Dynapharm. But it is very important for each one of us to know why we are in Dynapharm. And Dynapharm is all about changing people's lives, even as we change our own lives. Because when you change people, definitely the change will come back to you. That is very, very important for us. You must be a person who is courageous enough, because there's something we call fear. Fear will make you lose your goals. Fear will to share about the news or about Dynapharm. When you go to that prospect, they turn you down. So you are like, am I going
We seem to be getting more and more interruptions from the network of Richie Munene all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Let's have a few seconds, and if we can't get him back, then we shall move forward, because after Richie Munene, we shall be having a word from Director Edwin Baruma, who will sum up this Zoom meeting. We seem to be having very serious interruptions from Richie Munene, and we may need to proceed. But before we go right ahead, as we wait for Martin for Richie Munene, please, if you have any submission as a leader, in addition to that topic, any supplement, please go right ahead. I know, leaders, we have a lot to share. We should not always leave it just alone to the presenter, but you can have any other additions that you can weigh in, so that all the participants across the globe who are tuned in and watching can benefit from your submission. Thank you. Leaders, if you have any submission, any addition in relation to the topics we have discussed, please unmute and go right ahead and share with us.
Good morning, Dynapharm.
Do you have Richie back online?
I'm back, Mr. Collins.
Okay, please go ahead. I know the internet is not giving us the best of you, but we pray that it will stabilize and we have full package. Yes, please go right ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Collins, once again. As I was talking about fear, I would like to share a small story from the good book of the Lord.
Internet issues again from Nairobi, Kenya. I hope we can have Richie back online and this time consistently, otherwise we are not getting the best out of him with his powerful message. If we continue having these on and off interruptions, we may need to go to our next item, which is the word from the director. But before we do that, if we have any leader who has one or two things to say, please unmute as we wait for CDM Richie Munene to get online.
Okay, good morning, Dynapharm.
Good morning, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Rich has really touched my heart and I've really felt it because I'm trying to imagine how can somebody stand firm for 2 good years without products? And while us, if you don't have products, even for 1 month, we complain and we sit at home and we decide to talk negative things about Dynapharm. And this is the business that we built for years and years. This is just a normal common sense is showing us that in our normal houses, we can also have challenges. And it doesn't mean that if you have challenges, you run away from your home. So my fellow leaders, can you imagine people staying for 2 years without products? Some stop working in Dynapharm, others continue being in Dynapharm. Then Dynapharm reopens up again. Then they launch a promotion and the people win. So my question is to my fellow leaders, how do you look at these people who have won these things and you decided to move away from Dynapharm? So this is a big lesson to all of us, my fellow leaders. Dynapharm is ours, whether we like it or not. Dynapharm is our mother, whether we like it or not. Please let us hold Dynapharm in 2 hands. And another thing that we have to understand is that we can have products, but as CDM Florencia was telling us, if you are not ready to work with our downlines, how far are we going to reach? Because lacking products is another thing, and having experience or having a good mind to make our business continue moving is a different thing. Sorry, I'll speak in Portuguese. Estou a perguntar assim, Nosso colega, como estava a falar, nosso CDM, estava a falar de, ok, assunto que é muito, e dói muito, e esse assunto entra diretamente até no coração. Ele estava a explicar-nos, ele ficou 2 anos sem produto. Imagina nós, só um mês sem produto. Imaginar nós, sem produto, reclamamos muito, até decidimos para sentar em casa. Agora vamos imaginar outros colegas de Richie que deixou de trabalhar e eles, depois de deixar de trabalhar, a empresa voltou, colocou de novo negócio, eles lançou promoção, pessoas entraram na promoção, conseguiu ganhar carros. Como que você vai olhar aquelas pessoas que conseguiu ganhar carro quando você ficou ao lado? É grande vergonha. Significa, como o Rich estava a falar, número 1, você não acredita próprio em ti. Segunda, não acredita na sua empresa. E outra coisa que ele falou, e CDM Florencia falou, é assim, quando nós não acreditamos na nossa empresa, não vamos ensinar nossos afiliados diretamente no que eles precisam fazer para conseguir alcançar o objetivo que eles precisam. Agora, eu estou a pedir, meus colegas, pessoas de Dynapharm, um distribuidor de Dynapharm, faz favor, situação difícil, não pode fazer você subir ou deixar sua empresa para lançar na outra empresa, porque outro tempo podemos ter produto e nós não fazemos coisa certa. Agora vamos estar honestos, vamos agarrar nossa empresa, vamos colocar palavras positivas na mente dos nossos afiliados para continuarmos a ir à frente, porque Dynapharm é nossa. E nós estamos pessoas preciosas dentro de nossa empresa Dynapharm. Muito obrigado and thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, CDM Carolina Juma. Since we are failing to get Richie back online, I would request to shift to Director Edwin Baruma, if he's available right now.
Mr. Collins.
Okay, Richie is back online. Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you, Richie.
Back, yes.
Yeah, you have a very
just...
unfortunately, internet is trying to cut us short. But
yeah, thank you.
Please go right.
Thank you, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll just summarize from the book of Numbers for those who read the Bible. If you can read that story, it's talking about fear. Because when you have fear in your journey in Dynapharm, you are going to fail. But if you have courage, you are going to succeed. And when you read that book of Numbers, chapter 13, it's very interesting. You'll find out that Moses, who was the prophet that day, he sent 12 spies to go and spy in the land of Canaan to see if the land was real according to the promise of God. And when the 12 spies went, they came back with the evidence, with a report, and they assured the people, the land is there, the land is real. You can even see the fruits. We have them here. But out of the 12, 10 of them were saying, oh, the land is there, but there are giants there. We cannot manage to take the land. But I love 2 people from the 12 spies. One was Joshua and the other one was Caleb. They said, we are more than able to take the land. So you see, if you have courage and you remove the element of fear, you are going to get what you have been promised now through the word of God. Also now in Dynapharm, we have promises. We've been promised good bonus. We've been promised cars. We've been promised houses. We've been promised air travels. And if you believe and you hold to that message of Dynapharm, for sure, you are going to make it, regardless of the challenges you face, despite the companies which are popping up every day to discourage you and to derail you from your dream, you are going to make it. So, my dear leaders, let us remove fear from our hearts and let us embrace courage and embrace the message of Dynapharm, and we are going to succeed. There's also another very interesting story. I love the Bible. It has very good stories. If you read 2 Kings chapter 7, there were 4 lepers and they were going to die because of hunger. They told themselves, no, if we stay here, we are going to die. If we go there, we are going to die. But let us just make a move. Where we die, we shall die. And something tremendous happened. When they started moving, they took action. Somehow God increased their footsteps. So the camp they were approaching, they became fearful. They said, hey, it seems the whole army of Israel is coming to overtake us. And when they reached the camp, they found food, they found wine, they found gold, they found silver. So when you remove fear from your heart and you have that courage to make a move, great things happen. So let us be a people who make things happen for us. And for sure, Dynapharm is here for us and we can make things happen for ourselves. Thank you so much and God bless you, and sorry for the internet disconnection. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, CDM Richie Munene, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. We appreciate the fact that even when internet was giving you a hard time, you never gave up. That is the spirit. That is the spirit. We appreciate you, and we shall have you again and again and again. Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
prepare.
sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for that message, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
You're most welcome. So as we wind up our Zoom meeting today, let me shift over to Director Edwin Baruma. Director, do we still have you with us online? We shall be hearing from Director Edwin Baruma before we can wind up our session today. As we wait to wind up with a word from Director Edwin Baruma, if we have a leader who has just 1 or 2 additions in less than 1 minute, you can please go ahead and let's hear from you. Yes, Director is online. Director, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I hope we are all fine. Dynapharm, I believe we are having a very good time with these trainings. I think I'm now getting to learn French very well and Portuguese, and maybe I'll soon get on the Spanish side to learn the language, and we move on together. I want to apologize and to the team in Gabon. Your container is soon arriving, and all the documents have been forwarded to you. You'll get the communication. Lesotho, I believe the container also should be crossing soon, and I hope, James, you have information about it. I want to thank all the leaders who are online for today. I believe by Friday, on the meeting of Friday, we may be having Dr. Bien, if some of you know Dr. Bien, or our top leader, Hall of Fame member, June Lalog. They will be online from Philippines, and other motivational speakers. And we encourage you, to some of you who feel have some other leaders in your country who can come on this channel and make it more productive and give us good information, you'll be welcome, and we shall be able to host you. Thank you so much for being attentive, for giving time to this platform to listen. To my fellow distributors, I want to request you to work well with management so that we can all move together at the same time, and we can also help each other to achieve our goals and targets. And to all leaders again, never try to use management to take advantage of anything small, because at that, when you start doing that, then you create a gap between yourselves and the management team. Yet we want to work together as brothers and sisters in Dynapharm, because for us, Dynapharm has always been family, and we believe in having that togetherness, and it would always help us. Thank you, CDM Florencia from Maputo, Richie Munene from Kenya, Nairobi. Yes, we have been together for more than 15 years. It's a long journey that we have walked in Dynapharm, and thank you for always being committed. And to Mark Obini, our consultant doctor in Dynapharm. I want to thank the management of Dynapharm in all the countries that has tried to make sure this can be a success. And please, let's always make sure we can have more people to attend these trainings, and we can give them more knowledge, and we move together as friends. May God bless you and keep close and in touch together. CK Colin, thank you for coordinating this training very well, and we hope we shall continue and achieve what we are looking out for. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Director Edwin Baruma. As we close, I want to thank the presenters of today's CDM Florencia, CDM Richie Munene, and health consultant Mark Obini, and also other leaders who had supplements like Owen all the way from Freetown, Sierra Leone, Mufumbiro Joffrey from Guinea Conakry, and Juma Carolina all the way from Maputo, and our senior consultant Reed Ziksoka, also from Mozambique. Thank you very much. We meet next Friday, 29th, 11 a.m. East African time and 10 a.m. South African time. Thank you very much for participating, all the participants who have tuned in, and all those countries that have made it possible for this Zoom to be live in their training rooms. We really do appreciate and thank you very much. May God bless you. Till next Friday, thank you very much.
Fine. So do we have volunteers? Yes, Madam.